Hey y'all, Stephanie here with Prosser Construction. Hey, we thought it was really important before this flooring goes down in our new project to really stress the importance of floor prep. 9 out of 10 times when I go to projects, there is failed flooring because the prep was not done. Either the customer wasn't educated or they wanted to save money and cut corners, but in the end, you just lose money because your floors fail. For rentals, especially, I see a lot of people cut corners because tenants are in there, but in the end, they're pretty rough. And so that prep is more important than anything. So this project here today is actually on a concrete slab, which you don't see all the time. But I want to showcase this one and what we look for. And it's important, even if you have a flooring contractor in there, to know what questions to ask. If they're not talking about it, you bring it up. Because some people don't know what they're doing. Some people just want to be cheap and get the money up front. So it's really important that you're educated so you know the questions to ask and bring up and know if you're working with a good contractor. So let me show you. All right, guys, I just flipped the camera around here and here's the living room in this project. This actually isn't too bad. We would put a level on it to see, because if one side is sloped more than the other, you actually want to apply some leveler, because most people are putting in a click, either hardwood or laminate or LVP. And what happens is when it's uneven is it will start to flex a lot, and then that click will break and your floor will start separating, chipping, all kinds of stuff. But it's really important too, when you have these cracks, it's really hard to tell, but it's sitting up higher than the other, which again means your click flooring is bowing. And so you have to grind the height difference down, and then we got to fill it with a leveler and make sure it's fanned smooth. Here's another little crack. That one's real minimal. But here's a good one in the kitchen that you can see that had some sheet like linoleum down, but you can see how uneven this is. You cannot put flooring over this. It will fail. It will not last as long as it's supposed to. And oftentimes when you're buying flooring nowadays, there are warranties by the manufacturers, but I will tell you, most of the time they will not pay because typically the install is done incorrectly. So it's really important to make sure the prep is good. You're scraping off old flooring. Oftentimes people will go with carpet because it can have give, it can have flexibility. It is a better option if you have super uneven floors. Here's into the bathroom. You can see here too, this uneven, these cracks that go along here. But again, this actually is not too bad. I see much worse in older homes, especially that are on wood. It gets real serious, but I wanted to share, because it is one of the most common mistakes I see, or issues I see in homes. This room has several cracks. And then divots where it used to have carpet that we will be filling in with a leveler. It does cost more money, but it saves you money in the long run. Just try to remember that. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. Hope you learned something super valuable that can save you some money and be educated when you're talking to contractors. So one, you make sure you have a good one, and two, you know what questions to ask, because maybe they just forgot it or didn't include it. And it's super important to know what you're talking about as a homeowner. You can't expect everybody else to do that. We all got to be educated. So I will chat with y'all later.